Few times the sun altered its rotation. Once, when Yusha prayed to the creator of creation, twice for Ali, whose wilayah is salvation, and on the 10th day, the sun in hesitation to continue its rotation, for it sought preservation of the ark of salvation. Yet at dawn 2 suns rose, one sun with rays of grief and one sun whose voice brought relief. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, the voice of Muhammad, the voice of Ali Akbar. A voice calling to the camp of Hussein, reminding them that death may be near, that Allah is the only one we fear, and to the teachings of His Messenger we adhere. A voice that brought the camp to tears. When the companions fell, the dwellers of hell witnessed the Prophet rise again. But it was not Rasulullah, it was the son of Hussein. Ali Akbar. Ali Akbar approached his father. Hussein is from me and I am from he, echoed in Hussein's mind, as his eyes lay upon a man who resembled the mercy of mankind. With Akbar's request, Hussein had only one thing to say. Know how much the women of the Ahlul Bayt love you. Go bid farewell to them before you go away. Ali, you are my life, if only you knew. Akbar kisses the hands of his mothers and bids farewell to the others, and then prepares to leave. Yet as he goes to step out, a hand grabs his sleeve. Akbar turns his head, his eyes lay upon an unexpected sight, holding on to his sleeve, his grandmother, the Lady of Light. And Fatima looks to Akbar with teary eyes. Fatima looks to Akbar with teary eyes, eyes witnessed before by the skies, the same eyes that bled with the Prophet's death, the same tears she shed with the Prophet's last breath. Akbar looks down, her eyes he cannot bear to see. He looks to his sleeve and counts hands. There are now 3, Zainab, Sukaina, and his mother Layla. All stand, hearts beating as one, the tears meet on the sand. The woman cried to Akbar, stay with us, they plead. Upon Akbar's shoulder now rests a familiar hand. Hussein pulls Akbar towards him and he looks to Layla, insisting that Akbar must go. Awaiting him is a fate that they have all come to know. The women say their final goodbye. Assalamu alayka ya Muhammad, Assalamu alayka ya Akbar, they cry. And Hussein whispers to Akbar, may God be with you, my son. Take the sword and the shield and ride into the battlefield, but please come back to me. For I will not be able to see after this day if you do not rise in the sky to illuminate my way. Akbar now turns towards the enemies, the hooves of his horse scraping the sands. His horse begins to trot. Hussein lingers behind him, concealing his sadness and tears, yet in his eyes sorrow appears. Akbar stops as he hears a sound, the sound of feet being dragged across the ground, the sound of the heavens and the earth weeping. Akbar turns around. He sees what the blind cannot. His great-grandfather wiping the tears from Hussein. Yet as he comes closer, he comes to realize it was not Rasulullah but himself. Akbar was comforting Hussein. Ali Akbar was easing his pain. Father, why do you follow me and cry, O Akbar? The Prophet has said, Hussein is from me and I am from he. I gaze upon you when I yearn for my grandfather. Know that if you had a son like you would follow him too. Know that you are from me and I am from you. Akbar now rides towards the enemy. A cry from Ali shakes the pillars of the heavens. A cry from Ali pierces the ears of demons. I come from the lineage of the best of creation. My forefathers Muhammad and Ali, the leaders of the nation. I raise my sword, forged with divine relation. I defend the truth from the demonic annexation. What happened? What happened after to the camp of Hussein? The heart trembles to say, for two suns rose at dawn, yet only one sun shines bright that day. For a fear that was forged in hell was carried by a man whom the devil knew well, was thrown at Akbar's heart. Angels flapped their wings. Angels flap their wings, attempting to create winds that may divert the spear from Akbar's chest. Yet the spear pierced the hearts of the blessed, yet the spear pierced the heart of Hussein. Hussein sees Akbar bathed in blood and sand, and Akbar reaches out to Hussein with only one hand and he whispers, "Forgive me, my father." Tears fall as rain from angels and jinn as Hussein asks Akbar a question burning within. Why, O son, do you embrace me with only one arm? For this action brings upon my heart harm. For Rasulullah's death, I embraced him with both arms, and he embraced me as well. So Akbar moves his hand. Akbar moves his hand, and Hussein sees the spear tip that pierced Akbar's heart, but his heart continues to beat. Hussein looks to Najaf at that moment. Ya Haydar, your strength is more potent. Hussein places his hand over the spear tip, feeling the pulse of Akbar's heart. With every pulse, Hussein's soul torn apart. As he sends his final farewell to Akbar, his heart begins to burn. As he sends his final farewell to Akbar, his heart begins to burn. To him we belong, and to him we return. Hussein feels Haydar's strength in his arm as he begins to pull out the spear tip. Hussein feels Haydar's strength in his arm as he began to pull out the spear tip, pulling out the soul of Akbar, while heavenly blood drips. Hussein feels Haydar's strength in his arm as he began to pull out the spear tip, pulling out the soul of Akbar, while heavenly blood drips. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.